In the small town of Grubs, Arkansas, population 301 maniac, though no one knew it yet. Life moves slowly in places like this. So slowly that sometimes it seems the clock might apologize and turn back. Everyone knows everyone, smiles across every fence, quiet and orderly. Greetings exchanged on every corner, and then suddenly, bam. In this idyllic setting, a girl goes missing. Not just any girl, but the ideal. A beauty, an athlete, kind to a fault. Adored by her nieces. And then this Cindy goes out for a run and vanishes. Like pocket change after payday, everyone's in a panic. Her phone's silent, her Apple Watch too, even the dogs at her house are disoriented. Something terrible has happened. Police are in motion, searches, helicopters, volunteers, prayers. But there's a problem. No trace, just silence. And silence, as we know, is the perfect cover for monsters. And then he appears, farmer of the year, husband and father, respected man about town, a pillar of the community. And then bam, he turns out to be the cause of this whole nightmare. What happened next wasn't just horror, it was betrayal in its purest form. He planned it all, did the unthinkable, and even helped search for her while others broke their legs in the fields. All the while, he was erasing his own tracks. 25-year-old Cindy Sutherland was the youngest in the family, born to Maggie and Dion. She had two older brothers, Tyler and Sam, who always stuck close and tried to protect their sister. Maggie was especially close with Cindy, their relationship more like a solid friendship. They were constantly in touch, did everything together. Cindy was described as a vibrant, energetic girl with a wide smile. She lived with her boyfriend Alex, whom she'd been dating for 4 years. In her free time, she loved walking her dogs, playing sports, shopping, and spending time with her nieces, who called her Aunt Cece. She always knew exactly what someone needed and when. Graduating high school with honors, Cindy left a quote in her yearbook that reflected her life philosophy: find your purpose and share it with those around you. This stance aligned well with her job at the Harris Medical Center, where she started working as a nurse in the fall of 2020. Cindy and her family had just returned from a vacation in Florida, where they'd been relaxing in the city of Destin. They got back home on August 18th. The next day, Ring surveillance cameras captured Cindy getting things out of her car. She was in athletic wear, having just returned from a workout that lasted about an hour. While unpacking from the trip, she stopped by her mother's to drop off her mail. After that, she planned to head home, bake something sweet, and go for a run. Maggie tried to convince her daughter not to overexert herself, but sports were an integral part of Cindy's life. Even after a morning workout, she couldn't pass up a run to clear her head. After a brief visit with her mother, Cindy returned home, turned on her Apple Watch, and headed out. Around 2:30 to 3 p.m., a UPS delivery driver noticed her on a stretch of Highway 18 between Newport and Grabson. He remembered the girl well, as there was practically no traffic on these roads. Just scattered farms and houses, desolate stretches. Hours passed and Alex began to worry. Cindy wasn't responding. He called her mother, but she hadn't heard from her since Cindy left the house. Her phone went unanswered, her Snapchat messages unread. She wasn't responding to anyone. This was completely unlike Cindy. She couldn't have just disappeared without notifying someone. The darkest thoughts started creeping in. Maybe she was injured somewhere, or worse. Grubs was never known for a high crime rate. Things like this practically never happened in places like this. But as darkness fell and the temperature dropped, local law enforcement sprang into action. By 7 a.m. the next day, personnel from the Jackson County Sheriff's Office had joined the search. The Arkansas State Agency, Highway Patrol, U.S. Marshals, FBI agents, and several other units. During a brief break, Cindy's mother Maggie spoke with a farmer named Quake, who had gone to school with and was a few years older than the girl. He also recalled seeing her running along the road, and according to him, nothing suspicious was happening then. Cindy looked normal, no signs of injury or being followed. The last place Cindy was seen was a dirt road, number 41. This was her usual running route. Now, cars constantly traversed it, people combed the area, hoping to find her and bring her home. Helicopters circled overhead while search parties and dogs scoured the ground. Law enforcement from various parts of the county and state did everything they could. According to Sheriff David Lucas, the last person to see Cindy was that same UPS driver. She was near her home, alternating between walking and running. There had been no news since then. The investigation did not rule out any versions. She had her phone with her, and thanks to the signal from AT&T, they were able to establish the approximate area where she might be, cross-referencing this with eyewitness accounts. This is where the search groups focused their main efforts. They checked fields, looked at every detail, anywhere cars could have driven, where the grass was trampled or there were signs of turning around. One of the locals, Wyatt Brown, joined the search on his day off. He said he still couldn't believe something like this could happen in their quiet rural area. He hoped his help, like the efforts of the other volunteers, would yield results. A base was set up behind the search zone to coordinate actions. According to Sheriff Lucas, there were no serious leads yet. Police appealed to anyone who might have seen Cindy or noticed anything suspicious. They asked them to report it to the Jackson County Sheriff's Office. Cindy had her phone and Apple Watch with her. The signal from her phone confirmed she was near where she was last seen by Quake and the UPS driver. The very next day, about 400 meters from the house, they found her phone. It was intact and undamaged. The next 24 hours were tense. About 300 volunteers were involved in the search. Despite the scale, the sense of unease did not dissipate. Cindy was petite. About 160 centimeters tall and weighed less than 50 kilograms. If someone wanted to harm her, it wouldn't have been difficult, especially on a deserted and winding road. Maggie, desperately searching every meter along the road on her knees, found a small white bead. She immediately knew it was part of her daughter's bracelet. While some combed the fields and roads, others organized prayer meetings and gatherings. Cindy's disappearance literally stopped life in this town. On Friday, August 21st, from early morning, the search continued. Police said they were working on several new leads, and within a few hours it became known. A suspect had emerged in the case. His identity was initially not disclosed, but the man was taken to the Jackson County Jail. Later that same day, Cindy's disappearance ceased to be just a missing persons case. It became known that her body was found buried in a shallow pit in a field, not far from where searches had already been conducted. Medical examiners established the cause. Numerous blunt force injuries. Sheriff David Lucas admitted that this case was especially difficult for him. He knew Cindy's family personally. Watched her grow up, as she went to school with his daughters. The town was stunned. It had only been a few days since Cindy went out for a run and didn't return. People gathered together, remembered her, tried to preserve her memory in a positive light. To them, she remained bright, kind, caring, and cheerful. She didn't seek recognition, but was always there when help was needed. 2 hours after the tragedy, police named the suspect, 28-year-old Quake Lewellyn. The same man who had earlier told Maggie that he saw Cindy during her run. He participated in the searches, was active in social media groups, expressed condolences, even hugged the girl's mother. His behavior then did not arouse suspicion, but later he was found to be involved in the tragedy. When Quake hugged Maggie during the searches, she had a strange feeling that he was hiding something. She later recalled how after the hug, she couldn't shake this feeling of unease. Quake was married, a third-generation local farmer. He raised 3 adopted sons, managed over 2,500 hectares of land, and was well known around the area, including to Cindy's family. His family had even received the Jackson County Farmer of the Year award in 2016. Authorities confirmed that Quake and Cindy were acquainted. They were Facebook friends, although the degree of their closeness was not officially specified. He drew police attention to himself when he came to the station and stated that he might have been the last person to see her alive. He and his father voluntarily allowed a search of his pickup truck, and that same day, investigators noticed blood stains on the rear bumper. Analysis of data from his phone confirmed it. At the time of Cindy's disappearance, he was in the same area where her cell phone was found and where her body was later discovered. Surveillance cameras captured Quake driving out in his car and returning with a dent in the body. He admitted to hitting Cindy on a dusty road and, fearing the consequences, tried to hide the traces. He claimed he didn't notice her in the dust that rose from the road. Then he loaded the body into the car, drove some distance away, stripped her of her clothes, and, in his words, committed an outrage, after which he buried the body. He also said that the clothes he was wearing during the incident, he hid in the laundry basket at his mother's house. During the search, police seized a black t-shirt with strands of light hair, black and pink shorts, and other items. Later, 28-year-old Quake Lewellyn was charged with the crime, aggressive harassment, kidnapping, and desecration of a body. The first 2 counts were new. They were added after the investigation established that he not only harmed Cindy but deliberately kidnapped and attacked her. He did not plead guilty but was found competent to participate in the trial. If convicted, he faced the death penalty. Quake's wife filed for divorce immediately after his arrest, and the investigation confirmed that she was in no way connected to the crime and was unaware of her husband's actions. One anonymous source said that the man had always aroused suspicion. He was caught trying to peep at women. He watched them change clothes or shower. There were also rumors that he stalked young girls he was obsessed with and inflicted suffering on animals using cruel methods. According to Arkansas State Police, on the day of the incident, Quake was driving down Dirt Road number 41 and noticed Cindy. Then he made a sharp U-turn, deliberately hit her, dragged her into the bed of his pickup truck, took her away, committed an aggressive assault, and buried the body. A huge number of people came to say goodbye to Cindy so that everyone could bid farewell. The ceremony was broadcast online. Quake claimed he did not want to hit Cindy, insisted that it happened by accident. His words contradicted the opinion of the investigation, which insisted on the intentional nature of his actions. During a psychological examination, he reported that after what happened, he tried to forget the events by returning to normal life and work. He allegedly added that he did not consider what happened to be a deliberate crime. The prosecution discussed with Cindy's family the possibility of a plea deal, waiving the death penalty in exchange for a guilty plea. The kidnapping and abuse of a corpse charges were also dropped. The family wanted justice, but even more so, for it to end with minimal trauma and as quickly as possible. Cindy's boyfriend's mother stated that she would have preferred Quake to receive life imprisonment in the general population, without the death penalty, hoping that other prisoners would deal with him themselves. In her opinion, execution was too easy an outcome. She admitted that she felt a hatred for him that she had never felt before. But she hopes to let go of this feeling over time so as not to let evil triumph in her own soul. As part of the plea deal with the investigation, Quake officially pleaded guilty to aggravated assault and murder under aggravating circumstances. At the hearing, Cindy's mother, Maggie, made a statement in the courtroom, addressing the person who took her daughter's life. She emphasized that he had no right to take Cindy from her. She reminded him that it was with the same hands that he hugged her during the search that he committed the crime. For a mother, true justice would be the return of Cindy, but this became impossible. It had been 48 days since she was gone, and this could not be changed. Maggie was tormented by thoughts of whether Cindy screamed, whether she asked for help, whether she called out for her brothers. Maggie expressed satisfaction that now Quake would become just a number in the system, without a name, without the right to freedom. The court sentenced him to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. This was the outcome of the deal. The defendant pleaded guilty and avoided the death penalty. Cindy's family waited 48 days for him to be held accountable. Maggie said that now she would no longer have to be afraid that this person would ever be free. Quake's defenders admitted that if the case had gone to a jury, there was a high probability of the death penalty. Cindy's family chose a different path, to preserve life but to achieve life imprisonment. According to the lawyers, this was the moment when Quake took responsibility. His cousin, Tammy Otson, left the court in tears. She sympathized with Cindy's family, but also said that Quake's parents had also lost a son, morally and forever. It was they, according to her, who insisted that he tell the truth. On that fateful day, Cindy set out for a run on the road she had known since childhood. Everything looked familiar, nothing boded trouble, but a horrifying moment changed everything, destroying many lives. Today, her memory is honored with runs where participants wear clothes in her favorite pink color. One such event is called Finish Cindy's Run. An annual run in which people from all over the state participate, and participants tag each other on social networks, continuing what Cindy loved. Everyone who runs these 13 kilometers remembers the girl who did not return from her run. Her spirit seemed to hover over these roads. Over each participant, over each repost. Cindy's story continues to live, inspiring others. The path of the wire at the intersection of 667 and 167 was renamed as a memorial in her honor. The same white bead that Maggie found during the search is now part of the bracelet on her wrist. The Sutherland family is working on creating a charitable foundation in Cindy's memory. A scholarship was also established for students at Arkansas State University who decided to dedicate themselves to medicine. Her spirit is still felt throughout the city. It remained a part of this place. Her friend Melanie said that Cindy's life was beautiful. And she embodied what every person strives for. 418 days is not just a number. It's 418 sunrises that Cindy didn't see. 418 nights when Maggie woke up in a cold sweat, listening. Suddenly the phone will ring, suddenly a voice, suddenly it's her. And then silence. Only silence, the kind that makes your ears ring. Quake didn't cry, he didn't scream, he didn't apologize, he just gave up because he was afraid to die. Although death is what he deserved. But no, he will live. Eat, sleep, breathe, and Cindy is gone. Who cares that he's now a number in the system, he's breathing. And Maggie looks in the mirror every morning and sees a woman who has no one left to call daughter. Tyler and Sam hug emptiness. Alex. Every evening he sets out 2 glasses, but drinks alone. And her nieces. They still ask when Aunt Cece will return, never. He hugged the mother of the one he killed. He looked her in the eye, he wasn't looking for Cindy, but for his own alibi. And the whole town looked at him, believed him, while he wiped the blood off the body. What's next? Runs, bracelets, foundations. Yes, it's all there. But it won't bring Cindy back. No one will return her footsteps on the road. Her voice, her life, and the pain, it's here to stay now. It just hides in the shadows. It's in every rustle, in every road, in every pink trace on the asphalt. The day she ran out into the sun. Bright, strong, alive, and returned with a shovel, in a bag. With a cold tag on her leg, Grubs is silent. It no longer believes in goodness. Because once upon a time Cindy disappeared here, and with her, everything that was bright. I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. Until next time, friends.